This is the plaintiff, Sylvia Walker. She says her neighbor's tree fell on her shed, crushing it, and she won't stand up and do the right thing and replace it. It's a shame that in this day and age, neighbors can't get along and be kind to one another, especially when something like this happens. She's suing for $800, the cost of a new shed. This is the defendant, Tanya Williams. She says the tree fell during a declared state of emergency during Hurricane Irene. The tree's older than she is, looked perfectly healthy, and she's sorry. But neighbor or no neighbor, she's simply not responsible. She's accused of not being sympathetic.
Thank you, Sylvia Walker, you are suing your neighbor, Tanya Williams, for $800, the estimate and labor for replacing a shed that, according to you, was damaged by a tree limb that fell from her yard.
Yes.
Okay, what's happening here?
On August 28th, when we had the hurricanes, I went and looked out my backyard, and I saw, it was very windy, and this big chunk of tree fell on my shed. That was Sunday morning. I had to work during the week, so the following Saturday, my landscaper came, and I was having him to move all the debris. So I saw her husband, which I thought was her husband because we never spoken before, and
Now, she neighbors you from the back?
From the back.
Okay.
And then I beckoned to him to speak to my landscaper to remove this big chunk of tree off my shed, and he told me that he was not the owner, she's the owner. So I beckoned to her, and she came over, and my landscaper spoke to her and asked her, and told her that he would charge her $80 to remove the tree off the shed. She said that was too expensive. Then he said, okay. And then she said, throw it over in my yard. He said, yes, I'll do it for $20. She says, I'm not paying anything.
I'll do what for $20? Throw it over into her yard?
Yeah. Because she said,
oh my gosh, this is your landscaper from how long? Does anybody have a picture?
Yes, I have pictures of the
tree. Can I
tree.
see both your pictures? I guess he'd lift it and take it away for 80, and he'd lift it and throw it in your yard for 20.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's what he's saying. So this was something that he could lift and throw over into her yard, but he wanted $20 to do it.
He said $20 to throw it. These are big chunks of trees, if you can see from the picture.
All right, so then what happens?
And then she left and went to the front of the yard. Nothing happened. So my son and I, who was home from college, we went across to her house, and I said to her, what's going to happen? Are you going to move? Are you going to move the tree? What's going to happen? She says, well, I'll do it on Saturday. Okay, fine. So I left. Saturday came, no phone call. The trees are still there on the shed. Then I called her Monday. I said, what happened? She says, well, I'll do it Wednesday. So I said, so you're going to do it Wednesday? Okay. And she says, and if I don't do it Wednesday, what's going to happen? I said, well, just do it Wednesday. And we hung up. I haven't heard a thing from her until just now.
Okay, let me hear from you.
As she stated, as Ms. Walker stated, there was a hurricane in our area. So as a result, a limb fell from my tree onto her shed. Like 2 Saturdays later, maybe.
Was that tree diseased in any way?
No.
Was it decaying in any way?
No.
Do you have any evidence of that?
Not to my knowledge. Okay. I don't know.
No. So I didn't immediately notice the limb falling on Sunday. A neighbor of mine called and informed me that my limb had fell. So by Tuesday, I called my insurance company to see how that works. And upon calling them Tuesday, they had sent to adjuster. They called me back on Wednesday and said because it wasn't my property or that was damaged, she would have to call her insurance company to make a claim.
Actually, the words they probably used were act of God.
They didn't quite say that, but they were just like, okay, it was a hurricane. She'd have to call her. Because it was my property damage and it was hers, she'd have to call her homeowner's insurance to take
Right,
care of
but the reason why you were calling them is because it's your tree
right, on my
that a
side of
limb
the
fell
yard.
off of. What did they say about that? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
So Saturday the 10th, I came in from being out in the morning, and Miss, like she said, she saw.
Now, you two didn't know each other before this?
No.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
She
like
calls you over.
No, yeah, my boyfriend comes inside. He tells me that the lady wants me. So I go out to the yard, and she's like, I'm the lady live over here. The limb fell on my shed, what have you. So she said her landscaper was there and he would move it. So she called him over to see how much it would cost. He said $75 to remove it and dispose of it. I said, well, you can just throw it over my yard. He said, okay, give me $20.
Okay.
I said, let me go speak to my husband. So I went to the front to talk to my boyfriend. When I came back, I said, well, he's not going to give you $20 to throw it over the yard. He said, well, let your husband come do it. So he leaves. He finished, he left.
Okay, so did you tell your boyfriend to go do it?
I told him what he said. He said, I'm not going to that lady's shed. Something happens to her shed when I'm on it, then it's really a case, whatever the case may be.
Say that, slow down and say that again.
He said he's not going to go on this lady's shed and move anything. If something should happen while he's up there, then that'd be a whole nother story. Let a professional do it, which is I understood.
Okay.
So I was speaking to someone after the hurricane in reference to this. So because of the hurricane, they were backed up with work. So that very same day, Miss Walker and her son walked around. She took down my address. She gave my name, my phone number. And she said she explained to me that it had bent the door or something on her shed. She told me she don't care about the shed. She just wants the limb off of her shed. That's what she told me. She didn't care about the shed. She just wants the limb off of her shed. So I explained to her that I had
sort of before it starts sprouting things like out of her shed.
Right. So I explained to her that I had called the tree people, and they all backed up. She said, well,
Tree what?
The tree people, the tree removal
Tree
people.
people?
Yes, I'm
What
sorry.
are they called?
The tree removal people.
I thought you said tree boo-boo.
The tree removal
Tree removal people, go ahead.
So I explained to her, I called them, and that they're going to come out. When they come out, I'll have them remove the limb off of her shed. So she was like, it'd be nice if it could be removed by Saturday. I said, you're right, it would be nice if it could be removed by Saturday. So she asked for my phone number. I gave it to her. Saturday came. The limb wasn't removed. She calls me. She's like, this is Miss Walker. I thought the shed was going to, the limb's going to be removed today. I said, well, they're still backed up. They won't be able to get to me till Wednesday or Thursday. She said, well, I'll extend it till Wednesday only. I said, what does that mean?
Okay.
She said, I'll extend it till Wednesday only. I said, have a good day. I hung up my phone. I don't even have her number, so calling her wasn't going to happen anyway. But
I don't think it was going to happen if you did have her number.
Yeah, I wasn't going to call her anyway. But as a result, they still haven't gotten to me. Like, they're still backed up. So I can't make them come at any time sooner than they can make it. They had jobs that are much bigger than
You
mine.
mean right now they still haven't come?
Oh, they still haven't come.
All right, so now you're offended because you feel like that wasn't very neighborly.
No, absolutely.
And you're offended because you feel that wasn't very neighborly.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, she's talking now saying that Saturday came and she waited till Monday. She didn't wait till Monday. She called me on Saturday.
So if a healthy tree falls and damages somebody's property, is the tree owner responsible if it falls because of a hurricane?
If it's their tree on their property, yes, they are.
Okay, so now we are one person away from a shutout. This has never happened before. I have disagreed with every single thing all of you have said. I'm going to go to one more person. Is the tree owner responsible?
The tree owner is responsible.
Shutout! I disagree with everything you have all said throughout the show going inside the courtroom.
So putting aside mismanners and who was unneighborly first or more, let me tell you where the law stands on this, because it's abundantly clear. Okay, imagine your property line going up to the heavens. If she has a tree and the tree is growing over you, creating shade in your yard, and you don't like it, you can go and just cut off her limbs at your cost. Not her limbs on her yard, but right up your property line. That is your property, that is your airspace, and if her limbs are good, people don't do that because trees are beautiful and trees have a certain shape, and people usually like that, the trees have a canopy and provide shade, so neighbors usually don't do that. Every once in a while, there's a problem, and the problem that puts you in a position to sue your neighbor is this kind of problem. The tree is decayed, the tree is dying, limbs are dying, and they don't take care of the decay, they don't take care of the diseased tree, okay? But just the tree growing in the shape and path that God put in it is not something you can sue a neighbor for. And to her, oh, Ms. William, your powers are mighty indeed, that you can summon up the winds and the rains. She didn't cause the hurricane. That's what we call in the law an act of God. It's something that's nobody's fault. It just happens. So the only way that she's responsible, it's funny because I probably would have paid the $20 to not have a problem with my neighbor, but that doesn't mean she has to pay the $20. And apparently she was gonna put herself in a position where she would take care of it. It just didn't happen fast enough for you, or so she says. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. But if you did, say to her, I will extend it till Wednesday, you really had no legal ground to demand anything because it's an act of God and it's not her fault. So in this case, based on what I've heard, and by the way, the case went from $20 to $800. What was that about? The cost of a brand new shed?
Yeah.
But the shed didn't really matter to you.
No, the shed, of course it mattered to me because
So
I
then
had
why were you
stuff
just
in
going to
there.
take $20 that day?
Not me. The landscaper said he would take
$20 to
yes,
remove it, and
to
then you
remove
would,
it.
Then you were going to talk
and
to
then
her
I'll
about
speak
the
to her
shed
about
later?
Yeah, because I wanted to see what
Did
the
you ever
damage
tell her I don't
was.
really care about the old shed?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I find, based on the fact that it's an act of God, I find in favor of Ms. Williams. Good luck.
Okay.
And that was an act of the judge, that verdict. What's your reaction to this verdict?
It's okay. It's over.
You just wanted it to be over?
I just wanted it to be over.
Well, it doesn't sound like things are too quiet in the neighborhood there. It sounds kind of tense.
Oh, no. I've never spoken to her before.
And
That was
you
my
did-
first contact with her.
Your first contact?
Yeah.
You don't. Wouldn't it be nice to have a nice relationship with your neighbor?
Oh, of course, it would be.
Would you be willing to reach out to her? or
Why
you think
not?
that's- All right. Okay. All right. Head right around the corner there. All right. Come on in here. Would you reach out to your neighbor and try to patch things up?
Oh, absolutely. I still have every intention on having her removed when I get my tree work done. So I have no problem with that.
Yeah, but you were in there saying, I don't have her number. I'm not going to call her back and all that. Just sounds like you're not that interested in being a nice neighbor.
Oh, I have no problem being a nice neighbor. It's just the way she went about it, or things she said today that wasn't actually said. I didn't appreciate that, but it's all right.
So will you go next door, knock on the door and say, let's have coffee?
She's actually a block away from me, but I don't think we'll have coffee together now.
All right, Harvey.
Okay, if you live next door to somebody who has a tree that's hanging precariously or looks sick, what you should do is send them an email. It puts them on notice, and then they would be responsible.